Hello, my name is Ernie Arredondo with the Arredondo Group. I want to give you a few tips on how to maintain your foundation so that you will try to reduce the chances of having to have your foundation repaired. Case in point, one of the things about foundations is you have to pay attention to them and try to notice any deflections or anything that might occur. After you build a house, it takes 15 to 20 years to totally settle out. Most of the times they'll settle out straight. A lot of times they don't, but only a small percentage of the time. 90%, 99% of the time they settle correctly. 1% of the time they don't. So this is when you have to have a foundation repaired. But you should pay attention to these early in life so that you don't end up with a very, very big bill when it comes to the final repair. A case in point is I went and evaluated a house that was on the market for sale and met with the sellers and the buyers. When I took measurements of the house was 25 years old. The current owner had been living there for 2 years. The measurements on the house showed the house to be 5 inches off level, which is pretty substantial. The interesting point was the buyers, the owners of the house at the time they bought it 2 years prior, had it inspected by an inspector. The inspector made a comment that they should get a structural engineer to look at the house to check it to see if it was structurally sound and met the requirements of the American Society of Civil Engineers. Unfortunately, the clients didn't call an engineer and they went ahead and closed the deal in the house. 2 years later, they go try to sell it, and when we're having our meeting there, it was quite a disappointment because the house was 5 inches off level, and it was going to need to be repaired to be able to meet the requirements of the American Society of Civil Engineers, and also to be able to make sure that the buyer got a good house. You want to make sure that when you go to sell your house, you're not going to dupe your buyers into buying something that you wouldn't buy yourself. If it's 5 inches off, that's too much. I don't think anybody wants to buy a house if that's far off level. And some houses are as much as 2 to 3 feet off that we've repaired. So these are things that can be done, and if you make sure you follow the protocol, get your experts in there to evaluate, get your home inspector, and if your home inspector calls for a structural engineering firm to call an engineer. The Arredondo Group has several qualified professional engineers on staff, and so they're quite qualified and experts in dealing with foundation inspections. The Arredondo Group, next month, June, will celebrate 20 years in business. So we've been around the San Antonio area, and we know this Texas soils quite well. As a graduate from the University of Texas in Austin, I'm also very familiar with the situation from the whole corridor, from the valley all the way north towards Dallas of the unstable soils that we have around here. Yeah, give us a call at 210-645-6811. That's 210-645-6811. We'll be happy to answer any of your questions.